On October Disability Awareness Month and the work that each one of you does, on behalf of Governor Michelle Grisham, myself, and our entire cabinet, we're grateful for the work that you do. And this is especially meaningful to me because of the work that I did and the professional development that I was able to have during my time as a special education teacher really gave me great insight of what we can do and continue to do to build on the momentum that we have. And because of that, the governor has been a champion in recognizing and building an Office of Special Education within our own agency. And so just out of curiosity, I'd like to, just by a show of hands, how many parents do we have here, family members do we have here today? Thank you for your advocacy and for being here. How many educators do we have in the room today? How about state government employees? Thank you. Any of the providers or any providers who are here today? And then what about employers? It takes every single one of us to do all that we can to have the quality of life and to make that into a way that is going to be sustainable and is going to be rewarding for all individuals of the state of New Mexico. And that's why I'm glad that I'm able to be here today, is because this is my background, is recognizing the work that's being done by many of you who've also worked with me in state government with the littlest things that you would think 30 years or 40 years later after the roundhouse was built. Then we just recently took a walkthrough to make sure that there's accessibility available. And thank you to some of those who are in here who have joined in that subcommittee with me to make our roundhouse, your house, more accessible for all. But I come here today to share some of the exciting opportunities that you're providing when it comes specifically to disabilities and employment, and recognizing the skills that are brought forward by all individuals and how it goes hand in hand to truly make an impact. And I'll get a little bit more into that discussion to share a little bit more of how we can do that together. But I first want to begin by giving kind of a reminder of why we do the things that we do. What motivates us to be part of it as state government employees, waking up every single day to provide a service and recognize what industry that we're all in, whatever business that you may run, whatever agency that you may be a part of, whatever the family circumstances that may be a part of your own family, we recognize that we are all in the service industry. And not only did I have an opportunity to be a special education teacher for more than a decade, I also had the rare opportunity to also, when I left the classroom, to be a hospital administrator and working in healthcare. And when we worked in healthcare, it gave us the opportunity to see things through a different lens of healing and of learning. And my job was to do professional development to the doctors, to the nurses, to the directors, to the caregivers, to do professional development that would help them see from a person point of view, rather than just a patient that was in whatever room. They were a human being to be treated. And I would use a video that I'm about to show you as a reminder of the potential. And keep in mind, this was over 15 years ago that I would use this video. I think it's very relevant in what we're talking about today because it's a visual and it's a reminder of the potential that we already know that is there. But it's always nice to have a reminder. And so I used this video during that time when I was a hospital administrator. And why I use the video just as a reminder because caregiving and healthcare is equivalent and parallel to learning and education. Today in the state of New Mexico, we are doing well financially. Gone are the days when we were at 0% reserves. We still sit at 36% reserves. And money tucked away in different funds. Or in reality, we're close to 100% reserve on a $13 billion budget. And why, when we were deciding where we were going to go on our calendars, I raised my hand and I said, I want to go to this event that we're at today. I want to be able to share with you and to remind you of the work that you do is significant. And what programs that may have started out in hiring individuals with disabilities or other abilities may have been done early on out of charity. We know now that it's a necessity. Because what we do know, and the data shows us, that when we have a heavy workforce shortage, what we have is the data showing when we invest in employees such as you're doing, you see the loyalty that goes up for the job that they do. You see the attendance rate that goes up because they love going to work. You see the customer service and the amount of care and attention to detail that is provided. It is a necessity for us to recognize the potential and the possibilities of continuing to hire people who may or may not have disabilities. It's a reminder to all of us, and I think important to share, that when we continue to advocate, that there are potentially some other forces out there that can work against what we're trying to do in this room. And I am extremely concerned when the elimination of the Office of Special Education or the funds for special education may be removed or diverted from the federal government. I want you to know that the state of New Mexico, we're going to stand strong to continue the work that you're doing. Because what you're doing is you're filling a void and a gap and making sure that our small businesses can succeed. Making sure that people across the state of New Mexico are served in one way or another. And I think that that's important that we recognize. Because at the end of the day, when we ask ourselves, why do we do the things that we do? What is the reason that gets us up every morning? And I share with you, oftentimes some misconceptions that come in with that. And some of those misconceptions that come in are in the form of myths. And today we push back against some of those myths. Because we hear some of those myths and we don't even think twice about it. We laugh. Like, you better not cross your eyes. Why not? They'll stay that way. You better not eat that watermelon seed. What was the myth? It'll grow in your stomach. And then some of you, when you didn't come home when you were supposed to late at night, that lady that walked the Rio Grande, La Llorona, she was going to come and get you. And we laugh and we don't think twice about some of those myths. But today you give me hope. You give me hope because we're able to push back on the myths, whether it's in politics, whether it's in business, whether it's in sports, whether it's in the family life. The myth that says to show kindness, compassion, or love is to be weak or to be soft. And you're never going to survive, you're going to be run over. You guys prove something different. Because just as that father and the mother, who was very supportive and she wasn't featured there, woke up from the graveyard shift to provide that support and that system of love, compassion, and kindness so that student could succeed. You provide that in our workforce. You provide that in our agencies. You provide that in the programs that you do. And I implore you, and I thank you, and I ask you to continue doing more, because the most powerful thing that we can ever do on this earth is to show kindness, compassion, and love. You do it on a daily basis, and for that, I'm grateful to you. Have a wonderful conference. Thank you for allowing me to be here to open it up for you.